Reports come in from a member of the public of an upturned car close by.
The chances are it's on its roof in what we'd refer to as a live lane, where members of the public are driving along at 70, 80 miles an hour and be in a collision, and those people could suffer some serious consequence.
But the live lanes seem clear.
Must be on our shoulder then, or something. Must be behind this lot. Or is that it there?
Here, this is what's going on. 90, for your info, 1 mile marker prior to junction 30. Vehicle is on the hard shoulder. I'll give you an update for injuries in a moment.
Oh dear. Well, has anybody in it?
When you look in that vehicle, there's that moment of hesitation before you do. It's almost just pinch yourself, prepare, because the reality is you may be looking in, be faced with a dead body.
Is there anybody with it?
No. We've not been ejected, have they?
When you see nothing, it is a little bit worrying, because you think, where could they have gone? It's quite a bit of...
You what?
It's not blood, is it? Nah. Have they been thrown out? Have they run off?
There's a load of beer cans, we've legged it. No price for guessing. There's plenty of open lager cans in the car. So straight away, I'm thinking obviously we've got a drunk driver what's run away somewhere.
Help comes from a lorry driver who stopped when he saw the crash.
Have you seen anybody running off from it, or...?
Walking down there asking for a lift to Leeds. I presume it's the driver from here. He's down there near the trucks.
Right.
I just saw a car come on its roof sliding across the front of the of my truck and at the barrier there. I've just seen him. I think I've just seen him walking down the hard shoulder asking for a lift to Leeds. I presume that's him, and he looks like he's had a drink or two.
Anyone walking on a dark motorway is a danger to themselves and others. A drunk and injured man even more so.
We're obviously going to try and find him, and these wagon drivers have seen somebody walking down.
He's fallen down. Just 1 minute.
Where is he, down here?
Yeah.
Hello?
90, he's gone down embankment. No, we've no visual. Somebody's just seen him go down the embankment a couple of minutes ago.
He's not going to have got far, is he? 90.
Is he in here?
He's here, Dale. Oi! Oi! Come on, get up. Yeah, get up. Are you in that car on your own? Put your hands where I can see them. Put your hands. Right, get them for us, Dale. Right.
90.
I'm so sorry. Right, is there anybody in that car with you?
No.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, I need you to stand up.
He's not very compass mentis.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, well, as long as you're not injured, that's the main thing. Right, come on.
What's your name? What's your name?
Ian.
Come on, Ian, let's get you back up.
God, I'm so sorry.
Are you all right? Have you hurt yourself?
No, I'm so sorry, lad.
He's immediately apologising to us. It's a prime example of it's too late to say sorry, really. You're going to get dealt with to the full extent we can.
Honestly,
Don't apologise, let's just get you somewhere safe, all right?
Apologise, it's
Come on, just be careful, look where you're walking.
disgusting.
Ian, just look where you're walking, all right? I'm just going to put these on you. I don't want you to worry, but it's a dangerous place to hit cars, all right?
How much have you had to drink in?
Not a lot, honestly.
What's your idea of not a lot? 1 or 2? Or 1?
Honestly.
Right. So you don't think you're over? Why have you run off then if you're not over?
I'm just terrified.
Yeah.
I'm just terrified of the whole situation.
Right. So you've had more than 1? Yeah.
Thankfully, only he's involved tonight, and we're not dealing with some unfortunate who's been hurt or even killed because of this guy's actions and decision to get behind a wheel. They're absolute menaces.
I just need some help.
Yeah, well, we're going to sort that out, aren't we? It's a bit warm here, you just sit tight there for a minute.
If you decide to have a drink and you make that decision to get behind the wheel of a car, these could be sort of consequences you find yourself in, laid in a ditch 50 yards from a motorway, waiting to be found, basically.
He's obviously got some issues at the minute, hasn't he, with his health and well-being.
A paramedic arrives to check him over.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What's happened, you know?
a lorry stopped dead in front of me.
Yeah.
I just hit the brakes and the car overturned.
Okay.
He's putting his hand up to being the driver, but just can't accept, obviously, to take responsibility. That's, in his mind, it may be right, but his mind's probably not working as clearly as everyone else's around him, and he's being affected by the beer goggles.
Could have killed someone. Just what a monster am I? God, how sick is that? Please say I've not injured anybody, please.
Nobody else is, only your car's involved here now, right?
Making sure he's unhurt is important, but the cops are more concerned with finding out if he's guilty of drinking and driving.
Right, Ian, if you could take a big deep breath and keep going until I take a stop, yeah? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop. He's blown 116 on the L device, but we're talking that it's potentially, he's over 3 and a bit times the legal limit. Legal limit's 35.
There's two sort of types of drink driver. One would be somebody who's maybe made a bit of a foolish decision, had a little drink and decided to risk it on the way home, and then there's other people what are 3, 4, 5 times the limit. And although he's upset, he's remorseful, the sympathy level he'll get offered from me personally is totally different. He'll still get dealt with professionally, but at the end of the day, he could have avoided this entirely.
But it's not the first time he's been caught.
We found this guy's driving licence record, and he's shown us a revoked licence regarding previous drink drive matters. And in fact, he was given a 4-year disqualification for drink drive matters, which expired last week. In my experience, a 4-year ban for a drink driving offence, it's not a first offence. It would be second, third or fourth. The bans tend to get longer, further down the line you go. So to get a 4-year ban, it's the first one of that nature I've come across.
The paramedics here are happy to release him into our custody, so they've obviously checked him out, everything's stable. When I can get in there, I'll be formally arresting him on suspicion of driving whilst over limit.
With a long record of drinking and driving, this time the consequences may be more serious.
Probably getting imprisonment.
Truthfully, I honestly don't know. I'd rather be honest with you, I don't know.
I deserve to be.
If you killed somebody, I'd say, yeah, let's keep things into perspective. You've not killed anybody.
He comes across very well, saying all the right things, whether that's just a show for us or whether that's the way he genuinely is, I'll never know, because we only get to see a very brief snippet of people's lives.
You're a lucky, lucky man. And you might not think so, sat there, but I can tell you now, look at the kind of road we're on. There's vehicles that's doing 56 mile an hour and there's cars that are doing 70 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour, even 90. And guess what? You're still breathing, walking and talking. But I'll be honest with you, me and my colleague, we don't agree with what you've done, but it don't make us treat you any different. You're still a human being, aren't you?
Thank you.
Some people might say I'm a little bit like a social worker, but I'm not. It's just a little bit of compassion at the end of the day. But it doesn't hurt for me to be civil to him. My mum brought me up and said, manners are free. Treat everybody with respect and dignity, which is what I do.
Just watch yourself as you get out, won't you? Can you manage?
Yep.
Straight up to that door where my colleague is.
The driver's brought into custody to undergo a more accurate breath test.
I'll tell you what.
Just I might have been arrested then.
Yes, I did.
When you speak to him as a person, you look at his previous history, he's a very well-educated man who obviously has hit hard times. I'd have a lot more time and respect for him if he didn't get behind the wheel. you're potentially involving other people in it, and through no fault of their own, you could be on your way to visit your mum or go to the coast for the day and come across somebody like him, and potentially he could kill you. He's a danger to society. Right, so your first reading was 100, your second one's 108. Okay, so you're way over the drink drive limit of 35.
Not only is he well over the limit, his current licence is still revoked following a previous 4-year ban.
Seeing what we see on such a regular basis, we see the potential consequence of what he's doing.
The driver might have escaped with his life, but he won't escape the consequences when he goes to court.
It's not me that decides if you go to prison, that's going to be a magistrate on the day, isn't it? If it were first time, I'd better say definitely you're not going to go to prison, but because we've done this kind of thing before, it's a little bit different, isn't it? So I honestly don't know. I'd rather be honest with you and tell you, I don't know. Like I say, I don't want to lie to you because that's not my job, is it? He needs the help and he needs the support and he needs to get off the drink. If he goes to prison, that might help him a little bit maybe, and maybe he'll be able to sort himself out. But will he do that? I don't know, and he can decide if he's going to do it. Really, he's got to be strong himself.
Best place for him, if you ask me, where he is right now. Fully expect he'll ultimately receive a custodial prison sentence for this offence, and rightly so. On the face of it, it's just going to keep going until there's an intervention of some sort. And my biggest worry is the intervention will be a serious accident where somebody's injured or killed. So until he's able to control himself, yeah, keep him locked up for me.
A lorry containing foam is on fire up ahead, just after junction 5 and before 4A. It's obviously toxic when the foam's burning, and it's burning quite well. We've got to feed the traffic off at junction 5, but we're bringing it on a slow rolling closure up to that point to allow the highways agency to work safely in front of us to cone the motorway completely off.
We've already got a nice queue behind us now. It was just light traffic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's only light traffic, and we've only been on the rolling closure for a couple of minutes, and already we've got 3 lanes of static traffic, and I'm not sure how far behind us it goes, but looking at it, it's a reasonable distance. And you've got this big wall of traffic, and you're seeing it all behind you, and it's your job to make sure that they're brought safely to a slow, not that you just dive out in front of them, slam your brakes on and say, right, we're 70 down to 20. It has to be a gradual process of lowering speeds. At the height of rush hour, you're talking mile a minute build up of traffic when the flow's heavy. So obviously if we don't get the motorway open, you're talking there's going to be a big traffic jam in the morning. We have no way of passing information to motorists whilst we're administering the closure. All we've got is a message board in the car saying do not pass. And we can display a message to motorists. What we can't say is why they can't pass. And people do try and get past you because people don't want to be delayed. But if they get past you, then what are they going to face?
Because we don't want them getting off there and trying to beat us back, if you know what I mean.
You take the closure on and we'll scoot. See you later. All the traffic is going to filter off the M5 onto the M42 and go over the flyover further ahead and basically go around the outside of Birmingham the opposite way. It's a bit of a diversion and it's hard work for people who only want to go a short distance, but unfortunately we've got to close the motorway. They're going to have to live with that, and it's just one of those things. It is a sight. It's probably like Moses in the sea when he parted the waves. You've got everything just there waiting behind you for it all to be called through again. And it may be 2 minutes or hours later, everybody's raring to go, and it's it's a wall of traffic coming straight through again. Fire brigade don't actually want the scene reopened for some considerable time so they can work safely. So this is going to drag on into the rush hour, and it will be some time. So yeah, I mean, experience on the motorway for me says that it's going to be absolute bedlam in about an hour's time. You see, this is the tailback of the traffic that actually got caught behind the vehicle fire when it first happened. So we're going to have to do the hard shoulder to get past this lot. If it's going to be here for a really extended amount of time, they may have to consider reverse flowing this, but it's going to be quite complicated because of the nature of the junction behind us, and the traffic's flowing past at them, and there's no slip roads to get the traffic off. So it may well be that those that are caught here are maybe stuck here for some time. I do feel a massive amount of sympathy because we know more information than them, and we know that the closure's on for a long period of time. The last thing we want is people to be stuck for hours. You can see why the fire brigade didn't want anybody to actually drive past it now. That's quite a decent fire then, isn't it?
It was a proper job. When I got here, and bear in mind it had been going for a good 40 minutes then,
yeah.
Still flames out the top of the trailer.
What's caused that then? Is it a problem with his brakes or something?
Brakes warming up maybe.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Smoker flicked his flag out and it's gone in, who knows?
Yeah.
you don't know, do you?
That's right. Destroyed his lorry completely. He just turned it into a buckled mass, really. And the heat generated was tremendous. And so, as I've said, it melted the tarmac on the motorway.
What we're planning, as soon as they've knocked it down a bit more,
and
there's a bit less smoke, we can get all this traffic cleared through, and at least then we can worry about recovery and that. They keep coming back to this situation where each time they clear it, it's burning underneath again. But until all that smoke's cleared, we can't safely bring the traffic through here. It won't be safe for them.
Well, yeah, a lot of people who think, why the hell they closed it, you're inconveniencing me, but if they come up here and they look at what we're looking at, then they understand why. And they say these guys can work away now and get it knocked down, get the fire out, and get the motorway open as quick as possible.
It's pulled the unit out from underneath it and driven it away.
Oh, he's got the unit out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair enough, isn't it? When the vehicle caught hold, when the fire actually took hold of the vehicle, the lorry driver did the right things on the hard shoulder, and he separated the cab from the trailer so he could save his cab. Obviously, the more expensive commodity is the cab.
Underneath the trailer, the flames dropped the trailer, pulled away from it, 1999, that's all. The firemen are doing a good job anyway. Well, that's the annoying bit, upsetting the motorists, especially this time of day when people go to work.
Cheers for that then. You're all right, no injuries, no smoke inhalation? Fantastic, thank you.
It's a massive impact on the traffic because I can recall thinking this is going to cause chaos at rush hour, and it absolutely did. The tailback stretched from mile after mile. I think the traffic chaos carried on till dinner time, at least dinner time, because large sections of that motorway remain shut for resurfacing.
Further up the M6, PC's Tracy Cope and Paul Finlayson have been called to a crash on the M6 toll road. They already know that there's at least one casualty.
The ambulance crew on the scene want to get the lady to hospital. And straight away, we don't know her condition. So she's being taken by a land ambulance to Stafford Hospital. We're going to get one patrol to head there to make sure her condition's okay. And we're going to head to the scene and find out exactly what's going on. At the moment, the details are obviously still a bit sketchy.
The M6 toll road was opened in 2003 in a bid to relieve the motorway congestion around Birmingham. Although free-flowing traffic often brings higher speeds, it may not have been a factor in this crash because it happened at one of the toll booths. One car has rammed into the back of another. A highways agency officer is already at the scene.
Oh yeah.
Female.
Okay.
Staffordshire, hospital.
Female from that one, Stafford Hospital.
Stafford.
So that's the offending
Chest
vehicle.
injuries, yeah. She says we're on brake failure.
Brake failure?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 08 BMW.
Male in his ambulance now, on his way to hospital.
Right, I'm guessing they're not going just yet if they've just rescued that bag. How's he?
He was okay. He said he was okay, and then about 10 minutes later he said he needs an ambulance.
We'll get some details off him.
Although the driver of the car in front isn't badly injured, he's had a very lucky escape.
You can see the BMW, the damaged BMW there. It's obviously impacted with the rear of this vehicle. We're told by the driver of this that he was actually stationary at the booth about to pay when he had the collision at the back.
The poor guy, all he was doing was paying for his toll. And all of a sudden he was smacked quite hard from behind. Now his Audi probably weighs nearly 2 tons. And for that to be propelled forward the way it was, there's a hell of a bang occurred.
So you can see that the vehicle's been moved a reasonable distance, having been hit up the rear.
All the indications are that the woman in the BMW was simply not paying attention. But the cops need to prove that, and to do so they need some evidence. Sergeant Simon Street has arrived to lead the investigation.
I'm just checking with our control room to see if this has been caught on CCTV.
Yes, it has.
It has been?
She's just said, yeah. It's always on it. Yes, she's going to download it.
Oh, we've asked them to download it. Brilliant. Thanks, Trace.
A CCTV camera that is working is great news for the cops. But the footage will take at least half an hour to download. Meanwhile, news is coming in from the hospital about the injuries to the woman.
Trace, we'll have to hold everyone here. She's got a cracked sternum. We just need to confirm from the hospital it's not going to get more serious.
The CCTV evidence will be crucial in establishing whether the injured woman driver is at fault or not.
It's a very nice car that no longer works.
While they wait for the footage, the motorway cops continue to look into her allegation that it wasn't her, but a fault with her car which was the cause.
It's very rare that a modern car ever gets a brake failure. It's not unheard of, but modern vehicles just don't tend to have their brakes fail. I stand to be corrected, but...
These have been recalled, haven't they? Not recalled as such, but they've got to have a safety check done on them for the brakes.
Yes.
5 Series. Yes, they have just been recalled, some of the 5 Series, 3 Series for brake issues. I'm not aware of whether this would be one of those or not, but obviously that'll be looked at by the officer that examines the vehicle.
The solution to this puzzle will lie in the video evidence from the toll booth. There are nearly 2 million CCTV cameras in the UK, and over 10,000 of them cover the road network, providing vital evidence in helping the cops identify everything from traffic offences to travelling criminals.
You can see 2 marks there, but to be honest, that looks like it's a lorry. May or might not be, but it's a fair distance from it, isn't it?
It's a white truck.
To be honest, we'll know more when we see the video as to whether that may be attributed to it or not.
And so the search for evidence returns to the woman's car.
Is there anything readily available suggesting that she'd... Well, there's a card there, isn't there?
There's a card on the passenger seat.
American Express, yeah.
Drivers often take their eyes off the road to look for cash or credit cards as they approach the toll booths. And this is what could have happened here.
I found an open purse in the driver's footwell exposing 2 rows of credit cards.
Right,
And we're in a credit card lane.
Yeah.
And it also appears that the seatbelt pre-tensioners haven't activated.
Right.
Which suggests she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, which is why she's got the chest injury.
My patience has worn thin over the years for people who don't wear seatbelts. You just get so fed up of dealing with the consequences, the aftermath, and it's just so avoidable. It's a 2-second click.
After the roadside examination, the motorway cops believe the cause of the crash may well be the woman's lack of attention.
It may be the driver was looking for their card. It could be they were distracted at that point by something else. Again, the fact that the drivers alleged there was an issue with the brakes, once the vehicle's examined, it may put into perspective a little bit more as to what's actually happened, as where she'd been distracted more so, and just thinks it was the brakes because she didn't actually think to use them or realise the need to use them early enough.
And the video evidence backs up their theory. As the innocent driver of the front car prepares to pay, moments later, the woman driving the second car appears, showing no signs of braking.
Having seen the video, I would estimate the speed to be around 45, possibly 50 mile an hour as she approached.
What's puzzling for the cops is how the woman has managed to successfully steer into the lane, yet still failed to stop.
I can only hazard a guess that she was distracted by something. She lined it up fine, and then obviously at some point she failed to recognise that she was approaching far too fast and deal with it.
From this angle, her excuse that her brakes failed may be correct. But another camera covering the approach to the booths has also captured the accident, and it clearly shows her brake lights did not come on before she crashed.
She slammed into a parked car, and there's an awful lot of warning prior to that toll plaza to reduce your speed. And if the circumstances had been different, I think we'd have been looking at a serious, if not fatal, collision. The guy could have been killed.
While the motorway cameras are an invaluable tool for the cops in their fight against crime, they don't extend to the whole road network. So the cops' own eyes and ears are just as important. 7 miles away, just south of Leeds on the M1, CCTV cameras film the flow of heavy traffic on a 5-lane stretch. A black Fiesta slows to a stop just past the bridge. It's 2 minutes past 2 and a 999 call comes into the Wakefield Police Control Room.
Please, what's your emergency?
I'm stuck in the motorway. I'm right in between. I can't cross over to ring SOS. And the cars, they are really speeding that it's quite dangerous to even cross over.
The black Fiesta has broken down in lane 2. Inside is a father with his 2-year-old daughter. His call records the crash that follows.
Right, so you're stuck in the motorway and you can't ring SOS.
Their cars really speeding fast. It might cause an accident because I'm right in the middle of the...
What's going on? Cola! 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 Speak to me! Cola!
The call and the traffic building up indicate a major problem. Almost certainly a high-speed crash.
Cola, speak to me! What's going on?
A passing motorist has stopped at the scene and finds the caller's mobile phone.
Whereabouts are you?
Just north of the M62 junction.
The fire brigade arrive in just 5 minutes. The CCTV camera turns to observe the scene.
Sorry, okay. Injured?
Yes, I'm trapped in the car. The fire brigade are here.
Right, fire brigade is there, yes? Are police
Yeah.
there yet?
No police, no.
Right, they're on the way to you, all right?
Dave and Phil are among those on their way to help. This is a major bottleneck where the M1 meets the M62.
It couldn't have happened in a worse spot. It's so busy, so many fast-moving vehicles. It was the worst luck that anyone could ever think of.
Further north on the M621, PC Matthew Hemingway is the first officer at the scene.
As we approach, we can see a couple of cars. There's a lorry parked up on the hard shoulder. As we get closer, to this scene, you can just see it's complete devastation, really. And then somebody walks over and tells us that there's a little girl who's been taken out of the car, and your heart just sinks.
To avoid any further collisions, Phil and Dave divert the traffic off a slip road.
Come on, keep going. We've just had an update from the scene. The injuries are a bit worse than we first thought now, so they're treating it as a potential fatal road traffic accident, which means that they'll be shutting the motorway, and it's going to be shut for some considerable time now.
It does appear to be quite a serious one. Main concern is that one of the drivers who's seriously injured. I personally have a 4-year-old daughter and an 18-month-old son. When you see something like that, your heart and stomach just sink. You never want to be on the end of that phone call or being involved with your kids in something like that.
New information from the scene is that everyone involved in the crash has survived. The father and daughter have been rushed to A&E.
I know it's hard to tell, but it's a Ford Fiesta that we've got there. A lot of debris and engine spillage on the road. It turns out there has been 3 vehicles involved. We've got the HGV, the Fiesta and the Seat.
The black Fiesta carrying the father and his daughter is a total write-off. The car's roof has been cut away to remove the trapped and injured driver.
I believe the silver Seat is cut across 2 lanes of traffic. It's not seen the Fiesta that possibly has been stationary in one of the lanes. Whether it had broken down or whether it's due to amount of traffic, I don't know at this point.
The rear end of the black Fiesta has been crushed beyond recognition. Luckily, the 2-year-old girl was travelling in the front passenger seat.
Well, it sounds things if she's in a baby seat, she can only be 2 or 3 years old.
Being fastened correctly in a baby seat undoubtedly saved her life. While Dave begins to investigate the scene, PC's Dave Robson and Phil Stonebanks are continuing their investigation into the crash where a silver Seat collided with a father and daughter in a black Fiesta.
Very high speed impact. If you have an accident at speeds like that, it is going to cause a lot of injury and damage.
They've found an eyewitness, the same man who spoke to the 999 call handler on the driver's phone after the crash. A man who put himself at considerable risk to help the trapped drivers before paramedics arrived.
The driver of the silver one couldn't get the door open from inside, and so I managed to prise it open and got him out.
The driver of the silver Seat was freed from the wreckage and, incredibly, is not injured. But the Fiesta driver was not so easy to help.
So I couldn't get the driver of the other one out. Terrible scene. I mean, to be as close as that was quite frightening, and it happened so quickly, so suddenly.
One of the good people of society, even though all the danger's there, you could see someone else needed help. What he did was very brave, and I take my hat off to him.
The witnesses confirm what the officers suspect happened.
I think the black car was stationary with its hazard warning lights on as though it had broken down.
In 2013, there were 270 live lane breakdowns on this part of the M1, some resulting in fatalities. But because the 2-year-old girl was strapped into a baby seat correctly, she's not become another statistic. She's escaped without a scratch.
Well, for her to be not injured is brilliant. You know, they're robust, they're tougher than the rest of us out there. She's been very lucky, hasn't she? In that, if a little girl's been in that Fiesta.
Unbelievable.
It was a twist of fate that saved the young girl's life.
They put their child in the back of the vehicle, but today they had some stuff filling up the back seats, so they had to move the child and the child car seat into the front passenger seat. That decision saved her life because there was no back seats left, no boat, nothing.
Breaking down in the middle lane is a motorway driver's worst nightmare. Police advice is clear.
If a vehicle is still drivable, get it away from the danger zone of the live lanes.
But in this case, moving the broken-down Fiesta was not an option.
If they break down on the motorway, get out of the cars. Get out as quickly as you can and move over to the hard shoulder. Your piece of metal can be replaced. It's you and your family that can't.
It's now 10 to 5 on a Friday afternoon, just outside Leeds city centre. It's one of the busiest times of the day on one of the busiest parts of the entire motorway network, and the road's been closed for nearly 3 hours.
Traffic is manic everywhere. Tailbacks, busy, rush hour traffic.
Finally, recovery vehicles arrive and the road begins to be cleared.
We can start and get things opened up and get the traffic moving again.
3 months later, the driver of the Fiesta remembers his daughter's very lucky escape.
She just came out with a bump on her head. That was a miracle. I look at life differently now because with this accident, it's changed my perception of everything, really.
Caston suffered some broken bones from the impact of the crash, but was released from hospital just 1 week later. Nevertheless, what started as a normal Friday for him and his little girl ended unimaginably.
We were actually going to Leeds when we were towards M621. The car just started showing a warning sign, so I put hazards on. I could see from behind that there were cars speeding. We were stuck and we couldn't get out, to go to the hard shoulder. I just sensed that this is danger and I started panicking. So I rang the police.
As the Seat hit his Fiesta from behind, Caston was knocked unconscious.
That's as far as I remember.
He didn't know what happened to his daughter.
I don't know whatever she experienced or what she actually saw. Very distressing.
Months after the crash, and Caston and his daughter are driving again.
I believe I did escape death, both of us.
Fate. I do believe in it, and I hope this man has gone and started buying some lottery tickets. Very lucky they were, very lucky.
It's 7 p.m. and Birmingham's rush hour traffic has been brought to a standstill. PC's Jess Davis and Al Coleman are fighting their way through it to get to a serious accident on the busy Aston Expressway.
When we started approaching the scene, there was nowhere to go. We were struggling to make our way through traffic. It was just a sea of red lights.
This 2-mile stretch of motorway is unusual because there's no central barrier separating the opposing carriageways. There is, however, a no-go buffer lane.
The reason the buffer lane changes day to day is from what they call the tidal flow. So in the morning, you have more lanes opening into city, a rush hour traffic, and the opposite on the evening. That's why there's no central barrier down the middle.
But no central barrier means that a head-on collision between the fast-moving traffic is much more likely. And as they arrive, the motorway cops fear the worst.
It's a massive scene. It's looking serious at the moment. I don't know the ins and outs of injuries.
The multiple pile-up involves a BMW, a Mini, and a Jaguar.
When I saw both the Jaguar and the Mini, both those cars were extensively damaged. It was quite clear to me that there'd been a head-on collision, and I actually thought there would be a number of fatalities from both vehicles.
The fire crews are preparing to cut out 2 injured passengers who are trapped in the wreck of the Jaguar. 2 people were in the Mini, and they've already been freed, but the news isn't good.
They're both in the ambulance now. I've also been informed that one of the females within the Mini is, it's looking like it could turn into a fatality. It hasn't at the moment, but there's a potential. She's a very elderly female.
A passenger from the BMW is also injured, but fortunately it's not serious, and Al's giving what assistance he can.
Do you feel any pain anywhere at all?
My shoulder, my arm, and my head, just pounding.
Do you wriggle your fingers, can you?
I can this one's
Not so hard, quite hard today.
Feel that?
Now, just have a little look, all right? Can you recall whether you knocked your arm or your arm was hit at all? No. All right, mate. So she's got numbness down the back of her neck. She can't wiggle the fingers very well on this arm here, but she's holding in her comfortable position. Can't feel her toes, which I think is probably cold. She's a little bit in shock.
While Al briefs the paramedic, Jess begins the investigation into what happened.
Are you a witness?
I'm the driver of the car.
Ah, has anyone taken your details or
Yeah,
spoken?
gentleman has, yeah.
Is that that's your car there?
Yeah.
The roof of the man's Jaguar has now been cut away by the fire crews so they can try to free the injured backseat passengers.
That car's come across that carriageway into the front of us.
What, the Mini has?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Mini was the one driving the wrong way?
Yeah.
Right.
We were in the middle
Right.
lane, and then suddenly there's two headlights in front of you. There's just nowhere to go, is there?
No.
It seems that the Mini has veered right across the buffer lane into the opposite carriageway.
The Aston Expressway is a safe motorway, and that's more than likely due to the fact that the speed limit's 50 miles per hour, and they have that buffer lane in the middle.
Even at 50 miles an hour, a head-on crash is highly dangerous, despite having cars with modern crash protection.
Your seat belts and your restraint systems may hold you in the car, your body physically, but the problem that you have, everything else keeps moving within inside your body. And to survive an accident like that is quite rare.
The driver of the BMW has been lucky to escape injury. He's being breathalyzed as a precaution, but so far it doesn't appear he's to blame.
I think the back end swung round as he hit the car head on, and we went straight into him.
While the injured woman from his car is taken to hospital with a suspected broken collarbone, the fire crew are still battling to free the two passengers trapped inside the Jaguar.
I get really worried about people. We're human beings just like everybody else. You can see people who are in terrible pain. You see other casualties where you start to think, I don't even know if they're going to survive this.
On the Aston Expressway in Birmingham, the two injured passengers have finally been removed from the wreck of the Jaguar.
In my experience, I've been on the motorway for 10 years or so. It's one of the worst scenes I've seen on the expressway. And I have to say, people say, well, it's always going to happen on the expressway because there's no centre reservation. This is a very, very rare accident on the expressway where somebody actually has a head-on.
Inspector Mark Fullwood is in charge of the crash scene and has been waiting for news of the critically injured woman who was rushed to hospital over an hour ago.
Yeah, I've just received an update from my officers at the hospital. Unfortunately, the female passenger from the Mini, she was rushed into theatre, but unfortunately she has passed away. So now we are treating this as a fatal collision investigation, and we'll do our utmost to find out the cause of the collision.
The scene will now be preserved until a collision investigation team has gathered enough evidence to enable them to work out the sequence of events. Witness accounts and photographs will be used to build a picture of just what happened. The investigation will be helped by the roadside cameras which have caught the whole incident on tape. As the Mini crosses the buffer lane, one lucky car driver has time to avoid it, but the Jaguar driver has no chance to react as the Mini heads directly towards him. The Jaguar was being driven by Paul Hills.
It was quite busy, but traffic was moving well into town, and suddenly this car appeared. The last thing I saw was two headlights, and that was it. We couldn't go left. I didn't have time to brake, do anything. We just took the impact, bang, and that was it.
The evidence from the CCTV is crucial because it reveals that at no point do the Mini's brake lights come on.
So it appeared that she hadn't even attempted to brake, because the first thing you do in any sort of, your first natural instinct is to slam on the brakes. So we just couldn't begin to imagine why the driver hadn't done that.
One possibility is mechanical failure, but only by examining the wreckage can the cops hope to find out. And as the investigation continues into the night, more news comes in.
It appears from my latest update that the lady who's died is the mother of the driver.
I just felt really, really terrible for that female because she's lost her mum, and she's lost her mum in a situation where she was in control of that vehicle, behind the wheel of that vehicle.